Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be discussing the latest updates on the upcoming Battlefield game. EA recently revealed new details in an interview with Vince Zampella, and IGN gave us our first look at concept art. There are some big changes coming that take Battlefield back to its roots, so let's dive into what we know so far. Okay, first and foremost, Battlefield is returning to a modern setting. After experimenting with World War I, World War II, and a near-future setting in 2042, EA is taking us back to the era that made the series so popular, the Battlefield 3 and 4 days. Vince Zampella mentioned in an interview that those games were the pinnacle of Battlefield, and this new game will reflect that. Additionally, IGN released the first piece of concept art, and while EA is keeping a lot of details under wrap, there are a few interesting things to note. The city looks like it's set in Europe, possibly Italy or France, although some people suggest that it's Gibraltar, close to Spain. We also see some familiar Battlefield elements like ship-to-ship combat, helicopters, but it has been mentioned that there will be also natural disasters like wildfires that could play a major role in the gameplay. These will add a dynamic layer into the battles, making the environment as much part of the action as the players. One of the most important changes is the removal of specialists. This feature was introduced in Battlefield 2042 and wasn't received well by the community. Many players felt it made the game feel a bit more like a hero shooter than the Battlefield experience that we used to have in previous titles. EA has listened to the feedback and they're returning back to the classic class system, which has been the core part of the franchise for years. This resonated well with the long-time fans. Also, another thing that was mentioned in this interview, Vince Zampella has said that in 2042 we saw the introduction of 128 player maps, but the skill didn't necessarily improve the gameplay, and he also mentioned that the fans missed the more focused, tighter experiences that earlier games provided. The new Battlefield will bring back 64 players, which is awesome, and will focus on well-designed, dense play spaces. The goal is to deliver intense tactical battles rather than just increasing the player count for the sake of it. Battlefield is no stranger to large destruction, but the introduction of natural disasters, as mentioned before, like wildfires, could take things to the next level. We already know that from concept art, the environment destruction will be a big part of the gameplay, and these dynamic elements will likely create more unpredictable and immersive battles. Also, as mentioned before, the concept art hinted ship-to-ship combat alongside helicopter warfare. This larger vehicle-based engagement could bring back some of the large-scale warfare fans love, while still maintaining a more focused map design. It looks like vehicles will play once again a critical role into controlling the battlefield and the various objectives within the map. Also, EA has said that this Battlefield project is one of its most ambitious undertakings, with 4 major studios contributing to its development: DICE, Criterion, Motive, and Ripple Effect. Each studio has been assigned a specific responsibility. DICE, obviously the creators of Battlefield, will focus more their resources into the multiplayer. Meanwhile, Criterion is handling potential future content and experience for the multiplayer, as well as taking the lead on the single-player campaign. Motive, on the other hand, will be assisting Criterion with its campaign, possibly bringing its experience in storytelling into the table. And Ripple Effect is reportedly exploring the possibility of introducing a Battle Royale, or hopefully an extraction shooter, or even potentially expanding the Portal mode that was introduced in 2042. This division of tasks across multiple studios shows just how serious EA is approaching this next chapter of Battlefield. While Battlefield 2042 wasn't considered a failure, it didn't quite meet the high expectations that fans had. Vince Zampella acknowledged that, and the development team had to spend a lot of time adjusting and learning from the game's launch issues. The lessons learned from Battlefield 2042 will be the key in making sure that the new game is solid from day one, and hopefully EA is committed into not repeating the mistakes of the past. So all of that was some of the most important stuff from the IGN interview. However, on September 17th, EA had an investor day, and here's everything we learned. A significant emphasis was placed on generative AI In the clip shown, we can see that AI model is being used to create and modify a level and change game rules in real time. For example, the rule added here where that players can only die from grenades. Also, if you take a closer look into the guns used in the demo, you can see an M4 carbine and a MCS 870 shotgun. These are likely models and assets that will appear in the upcoming game because the demo appears to run on a new version of the Frostbite engine. The same engine DICE will be using for the next Battlefield. Obviously, EA showed this to attract potential investors, but it begs the question, will this AI tool help players create more diverse and variable levels in a future iteration of Portal maybe, just by using text commands? We'll have to wait and see. EA also confirmed that playtesting for the new Battlefield has been ongoing for the past year, with a community test program set to begin early 2025. This could be as soon as February or March, and it sounds more like a CTE than a standard beta test. We also seen 2 new pieces of concept art for the game. The first shows a vast open landscapes with tanks advancing towards what looks like a military base. The environment is heavily destroyed by an ongoing war, with explosions and dust clouds filling the air, something that we haven't seen since Battlefield 1. The second concept, however, shows a helicopter hovering over a destroyed city in a desert landscape. It might be set in a place like Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq, or perhaps even an African country. Marines are visible on the left, armed with M16 rifles, further confirming the modern setting. The city is completely destroyed by war, as you can see. In the backs, you can also see some bags filled with sand. Gives a Black Hawk Down vibe. Now let's touch on some leaks surrounding the next Battlefield. Rumors suggest that the conflict would pit NATO against a massive private military company, possibly modeled after the Russian Wagner Group, and the timeline is expected to set between 2027 and 2030. Now, obviously, with the current events that are transpiring in the world, I don't think that Battlefield and EA will like to have Russia as a faction, since they also kind of want to sell their games in these countries that the events are currently happening. So I don't think that they're gonna pit NATO against Russia, but more against the private military company, as mentioned. Also, according to leaks, DICE is aiming for around 45 different weapons at launch. I don't know if that also includes knives, but 45 weapons at launch and 10 multiplayer maps with the return of Levolution. Speaking of destruction and Levolution, we might also see caliber-based destruction, something similar to Rainbow Six Siege, where different calibers cause varying degrees of destruction to environment. If these leaks are true, the next Battlefield could be something truly special. Despite the push from the community to avoid pre-ordering, it's clear that EA needs to deliver this time. Battlefield's future may very well depend on the success of this game, and I'm confident that they'll learn from their past mistakes and are listening to the community to make sure that we don't see a repeat of 2042. So the next Battlefield is shaping up to be one of the most anticipated multiplayer shooters in the next few years, with the return of the Modern Warfare, the removal of specialists, tighter map designs, and new environmental features. This could be the Battlefield fans have been waiting for, but I want to know your guys' thoughts. What are you guys most excited about? Is there anything else you would like to see from the upcoming game? Please let me know down in the comments, and if you found this video informative, consider subscribing for more updates. I'm gonna try and cover as much updates as I can. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.